Hello, greetings from Bony Tony again. There's my ever-present t-shirt, not as opposed to my effervescent t-shirt, which is a different t-shirt to that. This is my ever-present Bony Tony logo. Behind me I'm in Manchester, and behind me is the statue of Queen Victoria. It's very busy. Good Friday lunchtime. Everybody's eating takeaway, massively unhealthy snacks in the spring sunshine. Anyway, I'm here to talk about, well, I've done a couple of videos recently about left-wingers called lefties. I did Karl Marx and I did Friedrich Engels. Anyway, so I thought I'd better do some righties, some right-wing people, but there aren't any statues of right-wing people around here, I don't think. However, there is a statue of Queen Victoria, and she is a monarch. That means she is a queen or a king. That's what a monarch is, a queen or a king, and she's a queen because she's a lady, or was when she was alive. Anyway, I'm going to talk about her for a bit. So this is to balance the left-wing stuff. This is more right-wing, because like most people would assume that a king or a queen are right-wing, which is not true, because some people might say that King Charles, is a lefty because he likes trees and animals and agriculture and cares about the planet. Righties don't care about the planet. That's what lefties do. Anyway, so Queen Victoria was somewhere in the middle. She was quite liberal in many ways. Anyway, she became Queen Victoria, soon after turning 18, just avoiding a regency. Regencies can be a problem. Like an example was the regency of George IV, when he was called the Prince Regent, because George III was still alive but was too ill to do anything. Although they reckon now he was just bipolar, but I think it was a bit worse than that. Anyway, so Queen Victoria would have also ruled the House of Hanover had she been male, because the King of Hanover was also the King of Britain from 1714 onwards with George I. Her first name, in fact, was Alexandrina, and her second name was Victoria, and she preferred the name Victoria, so she used that when she became queen. Her mother was called Victoria as well, actually, and her oldest child, her oldest daughter, was also called Victoria, and she married, of course, Prince Albert from the House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, and he was related to Victoria's mother, Victoria. And she proposed to Albert in October 1839 and married him in February 1840. They had 9 children, starting with Victoria, like I said, then Albert Edward, known as Bertie because his first name was Albert, named after his dad, I suppose, unless she knew any other Alberts, but I'm guessing he was named after his dad, Albert. So Albert Bertie, and his second name was Edward, and he was the oldest son, so he became, in those days, if there was a daughter but also a son who was younger, in those days the son would reign as the monarch, whereas nowadays that's been changed. But it wasn't changed in Germany, which is why she didn't also become Queen of Hanover in Germany at the same time. So they had 9 children. Albert Edward was the oldest son, who became Edward VII in 1901. The eldest daughter, Victoria, married Prince Frederick William of Prussia in northern Germany, which became the dominant power in Germany around that time and became quite right-wing. So in the sense, she has connections with extreme right-wing people, because the son of Victoria and Prince Frederick William was the future and last German Emperor of Wilhelm, who became Wilhelm II, who became the Kaiser and started World War I. So Victoria's attempts to try and, using her daughter, try to kind of make these other kingdoms in Europe liberal, I guess, so that they were less likely to go to war with each other, spectacularly failed, although it wasn't really her fault. But there was a lot of interbreeding, and as I say, Albert, Victoria's husband, was the son of his mother's. He was related to her mother, Victoria. So there was inbreeding going on, and the future German Emperor Wilhelm had a lot of physical and mental problems, probably because of the interbreeding, and he became the Kaiser. And another Kaiser of sorts was the Russian Tsar. I mean, it's the same word, deriving from Caesar. Caesar, Kaiser, Tsar. It's all the same thing, meaning autocratic leader, along the lines of Julius Caesar, who started the Caesars concept. So Wilhelm had physical and mental problems because of interbreeding, and so did the Tsar's family, the family of Nicholas II, whose son Alexei, I think his name was, had haemophilia, so he was always in danger of bleeding to death. Anyway, so that's a short potted history of Queen Victoria. Was the oldest reigning monarch in this country, reigned for 63 years, until Elizabeth II, who reigned for 70 years, who died last year. Yeah, that's right, yeah. All right then, that's it from me, Bony Tony. I'm in central Manchester on a nice spring day, talking about what you might call an institution of the right wing, i.e. Queen Victoria, but I think politically she was fairly liberal, actually. There's a lot of them are, where you can be afford to be liberal when you've got all them palaces and your relatives rule most of Europe. But anyway, that's it for Bony Tony for now. Subscribe if you like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.